what we're going to do today. Oh yeah, so today we will do a little bit of the revision of things that we've done in the last year. There's not so many of us, so we should be able to get through it fairly quickly. And we will then introduce a new topic, which is to do with timing. And then at the end, we're going to look at a part of the Zenken-Ren Iaido manual and translate the passage back into Angleterian. Okay, let's have a look at the yes. Let me just make this slightly larger. Second. Aska, can you read this at the moment, or is it too small?
I try to. Yes, it is visible.
Okay, good. Right. So Annika, we'll start with you. Let's see, which one should we do? One that we haven't done so recently. Number 17. You have to pass through security before you get on the plane. The airport is quite busy, so you should go early. Read, and then I'm going to pick it up and copy it and put it onto the script, onto the whiteboard. Is this still visible, Naska?
Yes, it is. It is okay.
Okay. Cool, good. Okay, Annika. Ooh.
Yeah.
So if there's any vocabulary you're not sure of, then I can help you. But if it's grammar, then I have to shoot you because we've done all this grammar before.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it will be a shotgun, which is much more kind of more likely to just make it really painful than kill you. So.
I'm not sure if I am able.
Right. Okay. Let's look at this. That's all right. Let's have a look at this first sentence here. This to me looks like one bit, and then this to me looks like another bit. So this to me looks like, what do you think this is, Annika?
Obligative?
Yeah, exactly. And this is just a time reference. So this would go before the obligative, wouldn't it? This is just saying,
Okay,
like,
I think
ashta or kino or something like this.
Okay, I think the second part was from last week. I'm not sure if
possibly. It might have been even more further back, actually, because this is just a really simple saying before getting on a plane, before you get on a plane. So how would you, to begin with, how do you say this bit, get on the plane? Do you remember airplane?
Not really.
Okay, so that's hikoki. And then to board a plane? Same as getting on a bus.
No.
So if I say to ride a bus, I would say basu o.
No, noru.
Noru,
Yeah,
good,
nori.
okay. Yeah, exactly. So hikoki ni or hikoki o doesn't really matter at this moment. So noru. And then the reason why I've done this in plain form is it's just going to be a time reference. So if I say maini, then this means in front of getting on a plane. Okay, so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then, Right, I'll give you the vocabulary. Security is called keiri, and to pass through, the verb is toru. Toru. But you have to make the grammar.
Keibi o toranakereba narimasen.
Very good, excellent. Nakereba narimasen. Yes. Good. And then the airport is quite busy, so you should go early. Again, this looks like, again, it's basically two sentences. This is a reason, and then this is an outcome.
Can I also use ga because it's busy?
Well, that's kind of a reflection, but what about using kara? Because
airport was
kugo.
kugo. I'm lacking a lot of things.
Okay.
Busy is.
So you can't really use isogashi because that refers to you being preoccupied with doing something. But for crowded, which is what this means, some of you might remember, there's a verb which is komu. So for example, we use this in the word fumikomi and other such, shiborikomi. So komu means to crowd in. Oops, not crowd in, to crowd in to. And we can use it to say, if people are getting crowded in, it means it's busy, it's occupied. We can either say komimasu to say it will get busy, or you can say, if you want to say it's now it's busy, then you would say not komimasu, but present continuous tense of komu.
Komemasu.
What's the present continuous tense of yomu, to read something? How do you say I am reading a book now?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right. So what I want you to do is to make the present continuous tense, you take a verb, put it into the te form, and then put imasu at the end. So how to put komu into the te form?
Kometeimasu.
No. How do you say I'm reading a book now?
Yondeimasu.
Right. So this also finishes with mu. So therefore, it is crowded would be
kondeimasu.
Okay, kondeimasu. And what particle do I need after kuko?
Ga.
Good. Kuko ga kondeimasu. And then, so you should go early, but we've got so first. So how would you want to use this?
Therefore,
or because you can keep it simple.
Kara.
Kara, exactly. Why not?
Hayaku.
Good.
Ikanakereba narimasen.
Okay, why not? Ikanakereba narimasen. Okay. So this means you, because it is busy, you must go quickly, which is fine. This will do the work to say what you want to say. This will get the message across. But there's a couple of things we should be aware of. Hayaku is okay. It means quickly, really, though. So as I've explained to a few people this week, we've got hayai and osoe, which means, respectively, hayai can mean both fast, but it can also mean early. And osoe can mean slow, or it can mean late. Now, you can use these adjectives just as you like. Hayai can mean either thing. But if you make an adverb, then if you say hayaku, this really only works for saying quickly. It doesn't really work for going early. And similarly, if you say osoku, this only means late. It doesn't mean slowly. So that, as you may remember, there are other ways to say early and slowly, as in at our leisure. So quick, early. Do you remember this? Sure. Do you want to help?
Hayameni.
Hayameni. Hayameni. And slowly, or let's say leisurely. Tom?
Yukurito.
Yukuri. Yukurito. Good. So these are really what we should use for early and slowly or leisurely. Okay. So here, not hayaku, but hayameni. Okay.
Mhm.
And this is fine. Ikanakereba narimasen, but we've then basically got two. Well, it doesn't really express this. So you should go early. This says you must go early.
Mhm.
So guys, if anybody can answer this, we haven't done it as a formal lesson before. This is something we've kind of touched upon when we've done these sessions. Yes. One more time, Joseph.
行った方がいい。
The itta,
Yes, 行った方がいい。
or you can say iku hoga ii desu. Both of these are fine. So both these terms mean it would be better if, and in this case it's go, because I've got itta at the beginning.
And the hoga I was the whether this or whether not this. The same hoga?
Yeah, it is. So itta hoga ii desu means, I can't remember what Patrick's wife, what Hannah said. This one can kind of mean, this is a bit softer. It means whether you do, it's better if you do it. This is quite strong. This means you absolutely should do it, I think was the way that this was expressed. You should go. Yeah, I think that's the right way around. So in place of ikanakereba narimasen, we can still use hayamani, but we should replace this really with itta hoga ii desu. Who's been watching the link that Joseph posted the other day? Anybody?
I didn't do it yet.
Ah, okay. It's really worth watching, actually. I started watching it and I couldn't stop watching it because the guy speaks, for me, he speaks the exact level that I can understand.
Yeah,
but it might be a little bit difficult for other people. But it's a really nice, if you put the captions on, it's a really nice explanation. So, except for Joseph, what would be a good way to finish this sentence? Anybody got any ideas? Why not? Yeah, if you're seeking confirmation, yeah. But this is really kind of giving some advice, some kind of recommendation. So instead of net, yo, exactly, yo. I really recommend watching that video that he linked, that Joseph linked to, because it explains really nicely why and how and where we should use yo, how it softens a sentence, how it makes it more like a recommendation than a command, how to kind of how to make friends and influence people is what it basically does. Yeah. Okay.
This is where you could also say John, no?
Yeah, although this kind of, yeah, it does. The only trouble is that then makes it the rest of the sentence very informal. So John is particularly informal. Yeah. Yeah. That's your.
Sorry.
That's okay. You rough, tumbling kind of guy. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
I do have a question about
Sure.
imas.
Mhm.
Should we use imas in this case? Because I remember imas was just for animate, for non-animate,
Living things.
for non-living things, it would be arimas or something like that. So
Yeah, this is going to be a complete lesson by itself. In fact, I think. Do you happen to have Shinihongo no Kiso textbook?
no.
Okay. Right. So, for example, if my phone has been put on my desk, so the word for placing or putting is oku. This is the verb. But if it's placed there and it's now there, it's left there, I would say keitai wa tsukue no ue ni, on top of the desk, oite imasu. I'm not saying who's done it. This is basically a present continuous tense for the phone. So I know that imasu is usually meaning to be alive, but it's used in the present continuous tense for inanimate objects as well. So generally, if you want to talk about the thing, the state of the thing, like ima pan ga yaite imasu. So now bread is cooking. It's not saying I am cooking bread, because that would be watashi ga pan o yaite imasu. It's saying that bread is cooking, bread is baking. Now, this is a slight diversion away from a few. We will do this in the future in a bit more detail. Let's use, for example, a different one. This is me doing this with a little bit of ignorance, actually, guys, so you're going to have to forgive me. If you want to say a picture is hanging on the wall, then again, you can do this te imasu. So, e ga kabe ni kakete imasu. But you could also say a picture has been hung on the wall. So again, it's not saying that somebody is hanging it. It's not saying who hung it. It's not talking about the person who did it. It's just saying that somebody has done it. And now you have to forgive me if I get this wrong, because I don't remember the chapter how it actually goes. But it's something like e ga kabe ni kakerarete arimasu. And then, so when we use the passive, this then changes to arimasu. But this is me just trying to prove how clever I am by explaining this, because to be honest, I don't actually remember exactly how this works.
Does it change to passive? Isn't it just arimasu?
So the verb has to change as well.
Okay.
Something changes about the verb, but I don't exactly remember what it was. I thought it was going into the passive, but I might be wrong.
I'll check. But yeah, because I had it not so long ago. But yeah.
Okay. But we can use te imasu for inanimate objects as well, to say that they are sitting, or the Tokyo Tower is standing. You can still use te imasu. Okay, any other questions, guys? Right, let's try another one. Tom? I'm trying to find one which we haven't done for a while. Oh yes, this one.
I can see a list.
No, nobody can at the moment. I'm just doing something. There we go. Can you see that?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I'm studying right now, so I cannot go to the pub with my colleagues. Maybe I can go on Wednesday if I'm free.
Okay. So it's I'm studying right now. Tadaima.
Good.
Benkyou shite imasu.
Good.
Kara.
Yep.
Every time I forget pub.
Just say pub.
Pub.
Just say pub. Yeah. If you want to avoid the wrath of Andre, it's nomiya.
Nomiya, that was it.
Yeah.
Nomiya. So nomiya ni. I cannot go. Ikimasen. Colleagues to. Ishoni.
Oh yeah. So colleagues is dorio. Dorio.
So dorio to.
Good.
Ishoni.
Good.
Ikimasen.
Help me here. Ike.
Ikemasen is better because it's the potential.
Good. Yeah.
Cannot go. Maybe Stabun.
Good.
Ketsuyobi, Kayobi, Suiyobi.
Good. Tsuyobi.
So maybe Wednesday I can go. If I have free time Jikan.
So I would use Hima.
Himanara.
Hima.
Oops.
If I have to make a potential, and the potential for na adjective was de areba. Hima de areba.
No. So this. So actually, Nazca just shouted out the answer. If you remember.
Yeah, that Hima nara.
I'm sorry, I
No,
cheated.
not at all. Not at all. It's good. No, not at all. It's good. It's good. It's good. So if we've got a na adjective, we can either say hima de areba,
Yes.
but this is really long and clunky. Himanara works much better.
But it was correct grammatically.
Hima de areba. Yes. Yeah. It is nicely correct. Yeah.
I was rechecking the buff form today, so that's why.
Okay.
So tabun COB ima nara. Maybe I can go ikimasu.
Ikemas. Good. Excellent. Okay. Well done. Cool. Any questions, guys?
Do we need ishoni on this sentence?
Not really. If you say dorioto, then that becomes redundant, really. You can then lose this. I mean, if you put it in, it's not wrong. It's, but like you're suggesting, it's kind of redundant, isn't it? If you say dorioto. Yeah.
I wanted to emphasize with my colleagues.
Right. Oh, you have. It's there. Dorioto. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Cool.
Apparently, the whiskey helps. You were right. Alcohol helps speak Japanese better.
It does. It helps you to speak any languages better, to be honest. I mean, I'm certain that I can speak perfect Dutch when I'm absolutely pissed out of my head. It sounds like I'm speaking Dutch anyway. Joel, you haven't done a Shinjuku one yet, have you?
No.
Okay. Can you tell me how much to get to Shinjuku, please? Is it near here? Should I take a train? If you're in Portugal at the time, I guess you probably do need at least a train.
Yes. So Shinjuku ni how to get I forget how to say how. I always forget the questions.
The interrogative, right.
Yeah,
So this is doyatte. Doyatte.
Doyatte ikimasu ka?
Yeah, exactly. This would be fine. You don't have to turn this into the exact translation.
Okay.
You can just say, how do you get to Shinjuku?
Is it near here? Chikaku desu ka?
Yeah, so you can, so you've got a choice here. You can either say chikai desu ka, or if you want to use chikaku, you should say kono chikaku.
Okay.
Yeah, kono chikaku desu ka. Either of these are fine. So just for those of you that don't understand this, chikai, it just means close, is it close? But if you want to say, is it near here? Then this is kono chikaku desu ka?
Kono, koko.
Kono.
Kono.
Yeah, it's weird. This means proximity. Chikaku, in this term means proximity. So
Okay.
is it in this proximity is what it means. Should I take a train?
Densha de ita hoga ii desu ka?
Perfect. Exactly this. Yes. Shinjuku ni dou yatte ikimasu? Sorry, that should be ikimasu ka, shouldn't it? Kono chikaku desu ka? Densha de itta houga ii desu ka? Sorry, I'm just going to answer Effie because I think she's wondering. We are still doing last week's revision. Yeah, welcome to chatting. Right. Yeah. Any questions, guys? Cool. Right. So while I remember that Nazca is still there, Nazca, let me find one.
But I think really slow today because of I have a hard day in work.
Okay. So does that mean you want something easy?
Yes, I want something easy.
Okay. Let's find something really difficult then.
I try to think is kangaete imasu or
the one you did before, you mean?
I try to think. Is it?
Oh, okay. Oh, try to think. I
imasu?
try to think. No, that means I'm thinking. Kangaemasu. Kangaemasu.
Kangaemasu.
Yeah.
I trying to use my brain.
Ah.
to
concentrate.
My brain and try to think.
Nozu o tsukatte imasu. Nozu o tsukatte imasu. Yeah. Okay, here we are. Could you please wait 5 minutes for me? I'm just resting, but I will soon be able to go.
Could you please wait? 5分時間.
So you don't need jikan, just 5分 is fine. Yeah,
5
分 is fine.
5分待ってください. For me, what? For me, I don't remember. For me.
Yeah. So this is. So you don't. No, you don't need to say watashi ni.
Watashi ni?
No. So all this means is please, for me. Could you please wait for me? So this is basically. I mean, you could put here, watashi o matte kudasai, to make it specifically, wait for me. But we've already got an o here, 5分 o watashi o matte kudasai. So we don't. Go ahead.
5分を待ってください.
Yeah.
Hi.
And if you want to make it clear that it's for you, though, because I'm not going to put watashi o in here, but how would I make this a little bit more like it's for me? Any ideas, guys? I haven't actually sort of instructed this before.
I don't know.
Anybody else?
Is it agemasu?
Agemasu.
No,
Agemasu.
you can't use agemasu for yourself. It's to do with this word.
Kudasaimasu.
Yes. And then you have to finish it with a sentence, right? With a question. Kudasaimasu ka? This makes it a little bit more like it's for you. Yeah.
5分を待ってくださいますか?
Yes, exactly. I'm
私
just
は
resting. Go ahead, sorry.
So it will be ただいま休んでいます.
Good.
ただいま休んで.
Yep, good. 休んで
が
いますが
I will be able ことがあります. So, but I will be able.
You don't. Let's not use koto ga arimasu.
Okay. I will be able is not.
Let's use iku. Change that to
ikemasu, ikeru, ikemasu.
Good.
Soon is mosugu or
very good.
I don't remember.
Mosugu. Yeah, mosugu.
Mosugu ikemasu you ni narimasu.
Oh no, this is fine.
Tadaima yasunde imasu ga mosugu ikemasu. Hi.
Yep, this is great.
I have pretty slow thinking today. It's weird.
Not really. I mean, you're thinking faster than I can type, so I wouldn't underrate yourself.
Notes. Normally I can write English versions when I hear it or.
No, this was really good.
Yeah, a bit.
No. This was really good. You don't have to worry. Okay. Right. Sorry, just gonna try and let Effie in. There we go. Automatic design. Hi, Effie. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello. You on 2 devices again?
Yep. Do you hear me well, or should I do something?
No, this is perfect.
Okay, thanks.
I just can't hear the piano in the background.
There is no piano now.
Okay, good. Okay, we'll do one more problem, guys,
Andy?
and then we will. Yeah, go ahead.
So
Tom.
Yari this afternoon had the question why we use mosugu and not sugu.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Cheers, guys. Happy New Year.
Is it more like in mojito or mo hitotsu?
Yeah, I mean, it means a little bit more.
Hi.
Yeah. So I'm just some be able to go. So soon really means a little bit more, and then soon kind of thing. More so good.
So
It's
very
difficult to
soon.
describe, really. Yeah. So I mean, there's a few things that you can use here to say soon. You can either say sugu ikimasu, but that normally means quickly, or like soon, as in like in 2 seconds time. Sugu. I mean, this comes from. Give me a second, guys. Otherwise, I'm going to get attacked for not using the right kanji. Sugu. So this actually means direct, doesn't it, Andre?
Yes.
Like chikinen, right?
Yes, straight or direct.
Yeah, this is the jiki of, where is it now? Yeah, there we go, jiki. So this means, so sugu by itself means directly, I will go. If you say sugu ni, it's really weird that just changing the particle slightly changes the meaning. Sugu ni, this now means a bit later, a little bit later, soonish. And then more sugu means a little bit later. Difficult to kind of explain it in English, to be honest. It's just like you have to just learn these terms and use them like this.
So the fast.
Sorry, Nazca, one more time.
Like words in English, like something is more expensive. Instead of trying to use more expensive, so it's like in Polish it is I think normal, but in English words is I can't say it in English. So
no, you're right. We don't really inflect the. We don't make so many inflections. We use articles instead, like more or a bit more.
So I think it's a bit hard only in English.
Probably right. Anyway, sorry, Tom, did you have a question?
So the The fastest one is Sugu, and then Sugini, and that's most Sugu is the latest of the Sugus.
Yeah, I mean, more or less, this is kind of very, very rough conversational kind of definition. But these can be kind of swapped around a little bit. It's so Suguni and more Sugu almost mean the same thing, really.
It's very relative.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a bit like the word soon in English.
Yeah.
When
exactly.
is soon? Are you going to clean up
soon,
your room? Yeah, I'll do it soon.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when's that? When hell freezes over? Who knows? Okay. We'll do one more of these, then I want to move on to another topic, or do the what's it called? The Effie, what's it called? Jirosu? Jirosu?
The Girosu.
Jirosu. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that
Yes.
after one more question. So let me ask the person who stayed up the longest to come to this lesson, Andre. You've probably done most of these already. You've done you're wearing a fine keikugi, haven't you? You were there when we did this one, didn't we?
Right,
Sorry,
yes.
should I say that in English? You were there when we did that, weren't you? Yeah. Which car is yours? Because it's too dark, I can't see anything.
We can do that one.
Yeah, okay. Here we go. So, Andre, as you've got very sophisticated Japanese, you can give me as many varieties of each sentence as you like, within reason. Once I reach the bottom of the page, we'll stop. So, which car is yours?
We're not allowed to use anata.
Well, sometimes we have to. Sometimes we have to. Or you could say, "Omae no sharyou wa dare?" So let's keep it polite. We'll use anata in this case.
But you can go Kansai for that.
Onushi.
Kimi no.
あなたの車はどれですか?
Good. And how could we flip terms in this sentence around to almost use the same words, but just in a different order?
どの車はあなたのですか?
車はあなたのですか? That's yeah. That's so all we've done there is move this dore to the front here, isn't it? And then put the anata no before the des. So these two sentences mean exactly the same. The literal translation is slightly different, but the overall meaning is the same. So your car, which is it? And which is your car? Okay, and then because it's dark, I can't see anything.
暗いですから何も見えません。
何も見えません. Good. Okay. So Andre, let's make a sentence use emphasizing too dark.
かなり暗いですから。
That's just using a superlative.
とても暗いです。
とても暗い。超暗いですから。めっちゃ
超暗いだ。
暗いですから。
超暗いだ。
Yeah, we can put lots of superlatives in it. Kurasugi.
Maybe kurasugi?
Kurasugi, yeah. Kurasugi. Now, okay, so kurasugi is good, but let's explore how we can use this. What's the most polite way of using this?
暗すぎます
Go on, that's it, good.
から
Yeah.
何も見えません。
Yeah, exactly. And is there another way? Tom, I think you might know this one. What could I do here? This is a kind of very hard cause and effect. It's dark, I can't see. It's not like I'm doing something and therefore X.
I would use the T form of kurai.
Yep, good. Good.
So
okay, so
it's an eye exercise. Kurakute.
Kurakute.
Miemasen.
Animo, miemasen. What about it's too dark? Anybody?
Kurasugite.
Kurasugite. So we can either use a te form on the adjective, kurakute, or we can actually use it on the kurasugimasu. We can turn this into the te form to make this a cause and effect. Kurasagite. All of these are usable. Any questions, Get? Oh, actually, let me ask you a question back as we're doing revision. Why shouldn't I use this one? Kurai no de nani mo miemasen.
Because the node implies there's a natural cause and effect.
Not exactly. Actually, the te form implies a cause and effect.
I meant to say a natural, so that it a cause and effect would be hard, or it's not necessarily because it's too dark that you can't see anything.
So actually, this is a natural. So using the te form does imply a natural cause and effect. It's got nothing to do with something you're doing. It's not like I've got my eyes closed so I can't see. It's dark, I can't see. So this one here, kurasugite or kurakute, is that direct cause and effect. But why then shouldn't I use node?
And can you have E with node?
You can, but it's used in a different way. It's used in a different way. So we would usually use node to ask for permission or to make a request. So it's a softening. It's like saying, as it's dark, considering it's dark, could you please turn on the light? But if you say, could I node, because it's dark, I can't see. It doesn't
it's kind of like a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not a justification. No, sorry, in English, these all kind of mean the same things, don't they? Justification and reason. But if we separate these into an excuse and a justification and a reason, so justification is nothing to do with asking permission. That is for asking permission. A reason is not about permission. It's actually saying this is the cause that this is happening, and this is where we shouldn't really use node because that's what we use for asking permission. It's when we make justification to ask permission. Normally, I mean, if you said this, you would be understood. It just sounds a bit funny. Any questions, guys? 質問がありますか? ビールがありますか? ワインありますか?
いいです。
いいですか? よし. Okay, now I think most of you were around for the next section that we did. I think it was a Sunday class. No, I think maybe it was a normal class as well. The tiramisu lesson.
Normal lesson.
It was a normal lesson.
Everybody heard tiramisu.
So Effie wasn't here and Nazca doesn't remember. So let's do this anyway because it's useful to remind ourselves. So the point of the lesson was that we don't have to memorize all the different kind of conjugations of verbs. We don't have to remember every single verb and try to remember how it conjugates. All we have to do is look at the shape of the verb, recognize it for which group it's in, and then we should already know all of the rules about it. So to prove what I did before with tiramisu was to prove it, you can make up a word and you can do all the conjugate. You can pretend it's a real Japanese word, and you can do all the conjugation with it. So Effie, it was jirosu. Oh,
Hi.
sorry. Jirosu.
Gyros. Gyros.
Sorry, is it just the pronunciation I got wrong?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a gyros is the we say
Gyros.
so gyros.
Hirozu.
Oh, gyros.
Hi, gyros.
Gyros. Okay. So I'm just to make it Japanese, I'm going to
Yeah,
change it
with the
to gyros. Yeah.
right.
Exactly. Okay. So I think gyros is these kind of is it this kind of
Like the
That's
doner, the thing that is going round.
yeah.
Your description was pretty accurate, so yeah.
But it's better.
Sorry, Josef, one more time.
It's just a better kebab. It's a lot same but different.
Ah, it's those, right. Those gyros, kebabs, right? Okay. So I'm going to say that this verb means to cook while standing on a record player.
Okay.
Now, Annika, you might be too young to remember record players. Do you remember these? You do
I
remember?
have one. I have
You have
one.
one? Oh,
Yes.
you're such a cool chick.
Yes.
Yeah. Me
I'm
too. I'm
hipster.
also a cool chick. Retro baby, high five.
I like the description from Effie what gyros is. The thing is got round and round.
Okay, so let me start with Nazca. What group is this verb in?
It's
Is it group
like
1, 2, or 3?
it's like my neko ga spurashimasu.
Exactly.
So
Well, in fact,
It's
we'll
so it's group 1.
so we'll do spurasu afterwards. Yeah. So it's group 1. Good. And Annika, how do you say I will cook while standing on a record player in the polite form?
Giroshimasu.
Giroshimasu. And Tom, how do you say please cook while standing on a record player?
Gyoshitai desu.
No. Please cook. Please cook.
So please cook. Gyoshimasu.
No, it
Gyoshite kudasai.
good. Gyoshite kudasai.
Oshite. Yeah.
Andre, how do you say I have in the past once cooked while standing on a record player?
寄与したことがあります。
Excellent. And Joel, how do you say this let's think of something. This kebab was cooked while standing on a record player. Kebab is just kebab in Japanese.
Oh, kebab.
That's right. Kono kebabu.
Kebabu wa
Good. Yeah, or ga doesn't really matter.
ga giroshi giroseraremashita.
Not quite. You're nearly there. So think of another one which finishes with su. Like push. This is really easy. It's osu.
Osu,
And then the plain negative.
osanai.
And therefore the passive.
Osararemasu.
So group 1 is the a and then reru.
Oserareru. Okay.
Yeah.
So girosaremashita.
Yeah, good. Girosarimashita. Good. And Effie, how do you say please let me cook while standing on a record player?
Oh, I don't know. Let me.
Yeah.
Wait. Please let me. I don't know. Let me. I don't know how. Which thing? Volitional? No. I don't know.
No, it was the causative form.
Causative. Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that. So
nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Where's the causative?
It's not Spanish, it's Greek Inquisition.
Oh, sorry. Nobody expects the Greek Inquisition. Was there such a thing?
So
it's an Orthodox Inquisition.
So Giro saseru.
Good. Giro saseru. But I want to say, please let me.
Please let. Giro saseru.
So sase is good, but it needs a different ending.
I don't know. I don't.
Well, if you don't know what, I don't know either. That's what I'm asking you guys.
Makes Giro sasete.
Yep.
Kuremas? Ne, kuremas.
Yeah, kurimas,
let
but
me.
so either kurimasu ka or what Nazca just said, kudasai.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't need the kuremasu ka or kudasai. So it's either
you can say-
kuremasu ka or kudasai.
Exactly. Yeah. These are
Okay.
these are two possibilities. Okay. Right. Now I'm going to go to Joseph and Nazca. So we've got this new verb, was it spurasu, wasn't it, Nazca? Nazca, you still there?
I think she said that.
Hi. It was
She's the only voice.
about the cat to splash. It was a joke.
I know,
Splash.
but so I think spurasu is the one. I'm going to change this around a little bit actually because it's too much like the previous one.
Hi.
And I'm going to say that it's spurashiru.
Spurashiru, so it will be group 2.
Good. Okay. We've just decided that arbitrarily. Actually, it could be group 1, but we'll make it group 2. Yeah. So Joseph. So actually, this is Japanese for to hydraulically murder a cat.
Okay.
Hydraulic. That's probably the wrong spelling of hydraulically. I don't know. Anybody here who's English? I don't know.
To drown a cat.
You win. I would put the other way, but
This
I'm
way.
not English.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, hydraulic murder a cat. So Joseph, how do you say, please murder a cat hydraulically?
Furashite kudasai.
Spurashite kudasai. And Nazca, how would you say this cat has been hydraulically murdered by somebody else?
Kono neko ga spurashimashita, spurashimashita, or spurashirumashita.
So I want this to be the passive.
Remember about group 2.
So let's do another one.
I
know that's the obligative. Let's do this one. Taberu.
Taberu.
And then the passive form is tabe. So.
Tabemasu, tabete, tabenai. I don't remember English words for passive.
All these excuses.
No, I have a
Taberareru. Yeah.
Was done by some.
Spurasareru.
No, because spurashi is the stem, which doesn't change. So it must be spurashi.
Rareru or spurashi raru. Spurashiraru.
Yep. And then I'd like it to be in the past tense.
Spurashiraru mashita.
Mashita. Very good. Okay, good. And Annika, I'd like you to say, please allow me to hydraulically murder this cat. Please let me hydraulically murder this cat.
Spurashi sasete kudasai.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly this. Good. Tom?
What a request.
Tom, have you ever hydraulically murdered a cat?
No.
So can you tell me I've never murdered, can you say to me, I have never hydraulically murdered a cat?
I have never. So I would say spurash, what's the infinitive? Spurashinai.
No, that means I won't murder a cat.
I have never. The tough, so spurashita koto ga arimasen.
Good, absolutely good.
Spurashita koto ga arimasen.
Okay. Cool. See, we can make any old bullshit into Japanese, and if we at least are able to identify the group, then all the rules are the same. There's nothing really exotic about the conjugation of verbs. So, any questions, guys?
Do you remember the site I sent you? I posted on Facebook about Japanese verb conjugation. They use an algorithm to conjugate a verb, so you can put there anything, and it will just conjugate the verb. So you can put there girosu or spurashiru or tiramisu, and it will just conjugate the verb as if it was something that existed. So it proves your point. It proves that anything can be conjugated.
Does it also recognize what group it's in, or do you have to tell it which group it is?
I don't know. For spurashiru, I don't know. I mean, for girosu, it would recognize automatically. For spurashiru, I don't know what it would say. But for those that are obvious, it would conjugate them like they were in their correct groups.
Right.
If it recognizes that like a Japanese verb, for example, it will give you the kanji and it will give you the correct words. But if it's something that you make up, it will just conjugate it as if it was a Japanese verb.
Okay. Oh, cool. Cheers. We will have to have a look at it and have a competition to see who can make the most ridiculous Japanese word. Okay. Any questions, guys? Everybody happy? Excellent. Right, let's do today's Schniffle Schnaffle.
Annika is smiling.
Because she just heard me speaking fluent German, that's why. Right, Annika? Schniffle Schnaffle.
What?
Because you just heard me speaking perfect German. And I said Schniffle Schnaffle.
Perfect.
I know this word.
This dialect.
Yeah, it also works in. It's also an Arabic word as well. It's a Germanic Arabic word, so you can use it in Arabic countries as well. Schniffle Schnaffle. But it smells more like a camel when you say it with an Arabic accent. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this one. So what I want to do over the next few weeks is look at ways in which we say time reference, things in reference to other things in terms of time. So whether they happen after or before or at the same time. So for the first 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to do things that occur at more or less the same time. So today's topic is nagara. Now, I should say that it's really easy to get into lots of questions and going down little paths about how to make changes to this. So I'd stress that we should do one thing at a time. Let's work on nagara today. And during the Japanese exercise we do at the end, we might end up doing another version, another one of these, a different way of saying at the same time. But I want us to master nagara first before we start looking at other things. So we start off with thinking about two things we're doing at the same time: a main action, which we'll call verb A, and a sub-action, which we'll call verb B. Now, the main action is going to have a definite start and a definite end. And the sub-action, it should more or less start or end around the same sort of time. The most important thing is that it has a duration. It's not necessary that it starts exactly the same time or finishes the same time, but it's kind of got the idea that you've got an overlapping pair of tasks going on. So we normally do this to say, while I was doing A, I was doing B. Okay, and this is a really simple example structure, almost exactly the same as this. There are some regulations about this term. The first one is that the subject of A and B need to be the same. You can't say, while I was cooking dinner, Tom was hydraulically murdering a cat. You have to say, make the subjects the same. If you want to say, while I was doing A, Fred was doing B, there's a different way of saying it. But you can't use nagara. It suggests that one person is doing two things at the same time. So as I said before, absolute simultaneity is not important. This doesn't necessarily mean that you start and finish both tasks at exactly the same time. So, for example, it does not infer that at the exact moment you were watching TV that you started and finished eating popcorn. But it is for when timings overlap. I've already said that. Now, the other regulation is that both of the verbs need to have a significant duration. So there are some verbs which are considered to be instantaneous, that they, even though they, of course, they take some time, they're considered to be pretty much zero duration. So dying is one of them, exploding is another one, and sitting down is also an instantaneous verb. Of course, you can be sat down, but the act of sitting down, suwaru, can't be used in nagara because it only takes that amount of time. Not enough time to murder a cat, for example. So you can't combine these two. So the way we create the sentence, the main action goes at the beginning. We take the mass form of it and just remove the mass and put nagara. Okay. And then the rest of the construction is you take the main verb, verb A, make it into nagara, and then just say verb B in the mass form. So, for example, while watching TV, I ate some popcorn. Terebi o minagara popcorn o tabemashita. Now, which one you select for being the main verb or the subverb does have some importance. There might be some sentences where it really doesn't matter. Let me think of something. While I was watching television, I was knitting a jumper. I mean, if you start both of these things at exactly the same time, then almost certainly the order doesn't really matter too much. The meaning is the same. You're basically multitasking. You're watching television and knitting, or you were knitting while watching television. Where your brain was, I don't know. Maybe you can knit well enough that you can concentrate on the television program and not thinking about knitting. Maybe you can kind of passively listen to the television and concentrate on knitting. But the suggestion is that whichever one goes first is really the main one. It's the one that you are, as the basic process which is going on in the background. But more importantly, it could be that A and B have got some sort of causality. Okay, so for example, if you said, I cried while I was cutting onions. Well, this means that I was cutting onions, and because I got some juice in my eyes, or some vapor in my eyes, I started crying. So it's important to say, while I was cutting onions, I cried. So negi o kirinagara nakimashita. If you swap these around, it kind of suggests something else. It says, I was sitting there crying, oh, so sad. And then you thought, I know, I'll go and cut some onions. So it kind of infers something completely different if you don't get the cause and effect the right way around.
If you're already crying, it's practical.
Yeah, you can pretend that you're crying because of the onions rather than the fact that somebody's murdered your cat. Yeah.
You're just hiding it.
Yeah.
The cutting.
Okay. Any questions so far, guys, before we do some examples? Annika,
I have a question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Annika first, go ahead.
It's equal to the group of verbs, how to conjugate it?
Yeah, it's the same. So
Okay.
all you have to do is make the mass form and then put nagara instead of mass. That reminded me actually to state something. You'll notice that there is no tense for nagara. Tense of the sentence, whether it is in the past or the future or the present continuous, is indicated by the final verb. Effie, I was going to ask a question as well.
That was my question.
Okay.
If there is a tense, or how can we tell if there is a past or a habit? Because while watching TV is a habit, but you can say, while I was watching TV, I was eating. So you don't really, so in the Nagara, you don't really use a tense in that case.
Only by saying when it happens. So, for example, if you wanted to say, I usually eat while watching TV, then you would just put this final verb into the mass form. You just say, terebi o minagara popcorn or tabemasu.
Yeah. So then that means kind of the habit that I like watching TV while I'm eating.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it can indicate habits, or it can indicate what you're going to do in the future, or what you're going to do exactly from this moment forwards. Yeah, which is the definition of the future. Sorry. Yeah, that's normally thought of being the kind of present tense, isn't it? Okay. Andre, samui desu ka?
Hi, samui desu.
Okay. So similarly, you can't use something like ame if you want to say, like take Andre's case for example. While it was raining, I put a coat on. You can't use it. You can't use ame ga furinagara koto kimashita because the subjects are different. Yeah. Oh, that's the next bit. So let's do some examples. Just got to try and find where I put them. There we are. So we'll start with Joseph. I'm going to try and go back to what we did before, which is me just saying it in English. And if you guys have problems, then I'll put it on the screen. But I'd like for now for you to try and do this without thinking of what the words are in English, and instead creating an image in your head from the English and then translating that into Japanese. So the sentence is, I listened to music while doing my homework. I listened to music while doing my homework.
宿題をしながら音楽聴きました。
音楽を sorry, what was the last verb?
聴きました。
聞きました yes. Good. 宿題をしながら音楽を聴きました。So you chose doing the homework to be the main verb here, didn't you? Yeah, good. Good. Okay. So this is what I'm going to ask all of you to start doing, is say well, you'll do it by the way that you construct the sentence, but I'm going to ask you to justify why you put one verb as the main verb. Effie.
Yeah.
So the next one is, this is actually the one that you asked me. I always eat while watching TV. I always eat while watching TV.
Okay. So how is it? テレビを見ながら、
Mhm.
always is いつも No, always is いつも食べます。
Good. Okay. So this actually was one of the questions we had earlier in the week, which kind of generated a little bit of discussion. So why did you pick television watching as being the main verb?
Because the way you translated it for me was while watching. I always eat while watching TV.
Yeah.
So for me now the translation was a bit automatically like that. First is it TV in the background, and then it's a habit, and you always eat.
Yeah. Yeah. So what this is actually saying, or what the English was saying, was let's get this right now. It means whenever I watch television, I also eat.
Yeah.
So if there's any time when Effie is in front of the television, you can be sure she's eating. But it doesn't mean whenever I eat, I have to watch television, because this would suggest that when you went to a restaurant with your friends, when you made your order, you'd have to say, I'd like gyros, and also can I have a television on the table as well, please?
In a Greek restaurant, that would be okay.
Yeah. Cool, good. Nazca, let's give one to you while I can still remember that you're there.
I'm here.
Okie dokie.
But I need to hear English because it's really okay. I can see it.
So do you want me to put it on the screen as well? The thing?
An English one.
The English one, yeah.
You want to see, or I want to hear?
I'll tell you what, I'll take it off the screen first, and then I'll read it to you first. Yesterday, while walking to the office, I read my text messages. Yesterday, while walking to the office, I read my text messages.
Oh, I'm doing it always, all the time. Yesterday, but I need once more. Could you repeat it?
Okay, of course. Yesterday, while walking to the office, I read my text messages.
昨日歩きながらテクストメッセージを
どこに歩きましたか？
昨日仕事に歩きながら
So let's use the actual word for office, which is 事務所.
事務所. My work it's not an office, so I was thinking only about going to the work. Or
You've been promoted. Congratulations. Sorry, go ahead.
昨日事務所に歩きながらIt's about text message.
So yeah. So in Japanese, this is really kind of teksuto message, something like this. Message.
Reading is kaku or kiku.
No, I have yomu,
or it was hearing and listening. Yomu and yomu and yobu. Yomu. 昨日事務所に歩きながらテクストメッセージ読みました。
Okay. Yeah. And what particle do we need here after text message? Good. Yes. 昨日事務所に歩きながら text message を読みました. Good. Yeah. So again, this is kind of instinctive that you're walking to the office first. That's your primary verb. And then you're checking your text messages. Otherwise, it suggests that you were somewhere reading your text messages and you thought, oh no, I'll walk to the office. So yeah,
It's
this is what
logical.
helps us. It is, yeah, exactly. Okay, João. Let me practice my Portuguese. João.
Hi.
Pretty good, huh?
Perfect.
Let's converse slowly while we drink coffee. Let's converse slowly while we drink some coffee. Or while we drink coffee.
コーヒーを飲みながら早めに 早
That
く
means early.
early,
That means quickly.
Yes.
Slowly.
ゆっくり
Good. Yukuri.
話しましょう。
Yeah, good. Hanashimashou. Yes, good. コーヒーを飲みながらゆっくりと話しましょう. So
Why do you need the to?
So this is you don't absolutely need it, but it is the correct particle to put after this adverb.
Okay.
To be honest, Joseph, the real answer is because Summer used it in his Iaido explanation.
Hi.
But no, it's the right right particle for this adverb. I think it's because it's an onomatopoeia, possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think of it as with your own pace. It still sounds logic.
Yeah.
With your own pace.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can get by, but get behind it.
Oh, thank you. I'll tell the appropriate man. Joel, can you explain what the I know why you've picked this way round, but can you explain what this sentence means and why the changing of the verbs, how that would change the meaning of the sentence?
If it was the other way around, it's kind of weird because we would have to be drinking coffee every time if I asked you to talk, to have a conversation, we would have to go and get some coffee with it as well. So
I mean, it would be if this was hanashimasu, but this is hanashimashou, the volition, which means let's do something. But why? So if this was a suggestion, if we're saying, hey, let's do this, if we turn it the other way around, it suggests it makes the sentence mean something a bit weird. Can you see what it is? Try and visualize what the people are doing when they do the sentence the other way around.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because they are having a they are drinking coffee and at the same time as they're having a conversation. So they're talking there. It's kind of weird. It's kind of strange.
Yeah. So what the main verb actually serves as, it's kind of like it's like a background process which is going on. So for example, terebi o minagara tabemasu. So the television watching is happening in the background. You might be still kind of concentrating on it, but it's like you suddenly share your attention between the watching television and eating, for example. So what you said here, this first one, makes absolute sense. It was while we're drinking coffee, we don't have to think about drinking coffee. It's this background process. We can then have a chat. But if you put it the other way around, if you say hanashi nagara kohi o nomimashou, it's like you're having a conversation and then you halfway through you have to say, stop, I'm going to make coffee. We're now going to drink some coffee.
It's kind of hard for the conversation to happen in the background because it's an intentional action. So it's,
true. Yeah.
If it was somebody else's conversation, then it might happen in the background. But our own conversation, doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, quite. Cool, good. Andre. You mustn't talk on the phone while driving a car. Did you do this one the other day?
Nope.
You mustn't talk on the phone while driving a car or juggling fire extinguishers.
運転しながら携帯で話してはいけません。
Good. Yes. 話してはいけません. I know what this is going to create a lot of questions now about why this works like this. Good. That's the correct answer. Okay, move on to the next one. Tom. We'll do this prohibition thing another day in 2021. Let's get this nagara under our belts first, shall we? Top.
Kunnen we de tafel kijken? Hij zei
I take notes in my notebook while listening to the teacher. I take notes in my notebook while listening to the teacher.
So, Kyoshi or Sensei O.
Koshi's good.
Kyoshi O. Listening. Kikimasu, kiki nagara.
Good.
Notebook. Note nohon. Notebook. Notebook. I take notes in my notebook. So, and notes is notes. I would just use notes, taking notes. So notes.
You can just use notes, but if you want to make a distinguishment between the notebook and the notes, the word people usually use is memo.
Memo. That was it.
Yeah.
So I'm taking notes in the book. I'm first gonna do the particle later. So
yep, sure.
Something memo. Something kakimasu.
Kakimasu, good. Yeah.
I'm taking, so I should be using the continuous present. So then kaite imasu. Am I taking them?
So it's now I take notes. So it's talking about custom.
Yeah. Then kakimasu.
Yeah, kakimasu. Okay. Let's do the easier one first, Tom. Let's do this one.
So I think the memo o.
Good.
Because it's the notes that I am taking.
Yeah.
And then I'm putting them in the book.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, I would say by way of the book, so de. I don't think it's correct.
Yep.
Yeah, by way of the book.
Or ni. Or.
Oh, I had a lot of choice.
Actually, de or ni, either is fine. To you can also use with a notebook. I
with
took
a
notes.
notebook. Yeah.
Yeah. All of these are fine. Yeah. Okay, good. Why would this be different the other way around? What would it mean? What would it imply if you changed the verbs around?
That listening to the teacher was not the most important.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, exactly. Right, good.
But now it also happens in the background, so.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird, isn't it? That this kind of, the position of it kind of suggests something else, but it's not a peculiarity to Japanese. If you think about this in your own language, you have to kind of identify the background and the thing that you're concentrating on and what's interrupting what to yourself, don't you? You do it almost naturally in your own language. And we just have to transfer that across correctly into the Japanese as well.
Teacher is always in the background while taking notes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, who cares what he says? I'm drawing some Pikachu in my notebook. Okay, where was that? Annika. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
You always get the easy ones, Annika, you'd be glad to know. While studying French, I like to use a dictionary to check words that I don't know.
Okay.
Actually, Annika, I'd rather if we did this one together. So I'm going to give you one that you can do by yourself. Okay, let's do this one. I'll put it on the board because it's going to be easier to do that way. He thought about short people while riding on the bus.
What?
I was running out of ideas. I just thought, let's make some stupid ones up.
Is riding boarding on bus or
It's the same as boarding.
Okay.
What was that verb again?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Right. Noru.
Basu o Naru Nonagara.
No, Noru.
What's
the mass form of Noru?
Ah, yeah. Norimas, Nagara.
Good. Yes, Norinagara. Okay, let's do this. Let's do the wrong way of doing this first. We'll do the wrong selection of adjectives. What's short in Japanese?
Not chisai.
Okay, chisai is good. This is small.
Okay.
Right. People.
Hito.
Good. And then what particle would we put in here next?
O.
Good. And then to think about, to consider. Do you know this verb? You may not know it because we haven't used it very much.
Omoimasu.
That means to, not exactly the same one. The verb is kangaeru, not the same as that animal in Australia that jumps up and down. That's a kangaroo. Annika, that was a joke. Oh.
Not? What? No, I'm just.
It's not an animal in Australia that bounces up and down.
Okay.
Although you might think about it for a lot of the time. I'm often thinking about kangaroos, which is why kangaroo is kangaroo.
Okay.
So kangaroo is the infinitive. It's a group 2 verb, so therefore.
Kangaimasu.
He thought about.
Kangaemashita.
Good. Yeah, excellent. Let's just spend just a minute or so making this vocabulary correct though. So chisai hito, this is understood. It means little people, but if you want to say short people, technically, you can't even say mijikai, which is the adjective for short. If you want to describe somebody as tall, you say their back is tall. So you say se, which means back, se ga takai. And if you want to say somebody is short, you say their back is low, se ga ikui. And then these are basically little subclauses, they can become modifiers, which we know as being adjectives, before the word hito.
You can also be evil and say kobito. No?
Say kobito?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. That sounds more like my
Probably
back lover.
Means dwarf, but
could be, yeah. Oh, sekabito.
Just
sorry,
kobito, I think.
Isn't chibi also short, or is it
chibi
just the anime version of short?
So you can say chibi, which means a midget, but we're now stepping into the world of political incorrectness. So if it's to somebody that you know well, that you're friends with, who's not likely to throw you under a car, then you can use Chibi. But be careful. It's kind of now thought of as being what's the word? Handicapist. I don't know. It's not
Political
correct.
correctness.
Yeah, it's not very politically correct. Yeah.
Disabled person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I use it for describing Lucy Early all the time, but it's only because I know her very well. Cool. Kojin. Is that Shojin? Where you gone? There's Nazca.
Kobito.
Kobito. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds really close to.
Also dwarf and midget. And small person and child. It's like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kobito. Sounds really close to Koibito, which nearly brings us on to Kenji and Rieko stories.
Dangerous mistake, yeah.
Yeah. Anata wa watashi no kobito desu. Oh, you keep your own dwarf? Okay, should we do a couple more? Yeah. Let's do this next one together. So Effie, I'm going to choose you as my victim for helping me to do this next one.
I'm always scared.
Be afraid, be very afraid.
Oh God, yes.
Do you speak French, by the way?
Un peu. I just learned at school. I mean, working at school, because I work in Brussels. Right. So.
With funny French-speaking Belgish people.
No, they're not even Belgians. In Brussels, nobody's Belgian.
This sounds like fighting talk. I won't tell Patrick.
They're just speaking French.
Or trying.
Yeah. Okay, so while studying French, I like to use a dictionary to check words that I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So, Fransugo Benkyo Shinagara? Benkyo Shima, is it Benkyo Shima? Benkyo Shinagara, okay. Oh God. So I guess I like to use a dictionary first.
Actually, this is the conclusion of the sentence, to be honest.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So to check words that I don't know. Words were kotoba or something?
Good.
Kotoba?
Good. Yeah.
Or
use kotoba or tango, both of these mean word.
Wait, words that I don't know. Kotoba or wakari. No.
So
Shiranai, wakarimasen. No.
So you can use either shiranai or wakaranai. These are both fine, but it's the position of this. Excuse me. It's the position of this to reflect what's being said in the sentence.
So it has to go further, more at the end.
Well, I would say let's restructure this slightly in a standard Japanese sentence structure. So, as it's nagara, we can have the verb nagara at the beginning, of course. That's easy. And then, that's a really annoying function on Zoom. If you hold the space bar down, you can hear yourself speak. Really distracting. I like to use the dictionary.
That's the end.
That's the end, yeah.
Okay.
And then in the middle, it's saying there's this, to check words, this is a purpose here. So there's some verbs, the verb map checking, yeah. And there's also the things that, there's words. So this will have to be words, and we have to mark this as the object, or. And then what is this bit here though?
Should it be like an adverb or something?
You're so close. You're really close. It's an adjective. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly an adjective. Yeah. Words that I don't know is a subclause.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
So it should be
I don't know, rather.
unknown words, like, or foreign word, like, yeah.
Exactly this, unknown words. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Andy?
But does it have to be an adjective or a verb formed as an adjective now? That's what I don't.
It's that latter one. It's that latter one. You can use verbs in their plain form. They become modifiers. They are adjectives in their own way. So, for example, the beer that I'm drinking is, or the beer that I will drink, is nomu biru. I just use the plain form of the verb, put it before the noun, and this becomes in itself modifier.
So like yeah. So yeah, I get what you mean. So like it would be something like shirana kotoba. Like you make one word, shirana kotoba, something.
I mean, you can just turn the verb into what you're doing now, which is the negative plain form, and use it in its entirety.
Shiranai kotoba.
Shiranai kotoba.
Okay.
Yeah. Tom, did you ask a question then? Sorry.
Well, I liked it the way you said it this morning. So when you were talking about the sentence structure, that you first say the reason and then the conclusion. That made it very clear for me this morning. So when you have to search this, then reason and then conclusion and so on.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So this appears in either as part of the main structure of the sentence, or it might appear as a sub part of the sentence, that we make the reasoning first and then we make the conclusion at the end.
Okay.
A bit like a scientific experiment.
So shiranai kotoba. Wait, should I go on or are you?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So shiranai kotoba. Do we use a tameni here in order to check, or just to check is fine?
I like this. In order to check.
Cool. Okay. Like shiranai kotoba. But then how is check? Wait, I'll open my dictionary. Check.
Checker is one.
Control. Okay.
Check good. Use this. Or if you want to, in order to not incur the wrath of Andre, who doesn't like to use Japanized English words, you can use kakunin to confirm. Yeah.
But then, do I leave it like that? Then shiranai kotoba kakunin, or should I use a tameni now? Kakunin no tameni. It's too many things, I think.
Well, actually, you should really use all of these, I think, because this is doing something. I use a dictionary to check words. So
in order to check words.
Yeah. So this is the actual thing that you're doing, and this is the reason why you're doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is a tameni then.
Yes. Yeah.
So shiranai kotoba kakunin no tameni.
So I'd like a particle here though, because we've got a noun.
O.
Good. Yep.
Kakunin no tameni.
Yes. You can either say this, kakunin no tameni, or you can say this. Both are fine. Kakunin is a noun.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure.
So you can say as kakunin no tameni, or you can turn it into a verb by putting suru, in which case it completely replaces the no, because you don't need a particle between a verb and tameni.
Okay. Okay.
Both are fine. So I shall put that in like this.
And then I like to use a dictionary. Wait, to use a dictionary. Dictionary was the dictionary.
Jiten, jisho.
Jisho. Jisho wo tsukimasu ne. No, I like to.
Can you tell me what the verb? What's the verb first? What's the plain form?
I'm trying to remember. Tsukima? Okay. No.
Tsukao.
Tsukao. Tsukao. I like to use it. Sukides. Sukides is not. Yeah, I like to use. I have no idea. Look.
Okay.
No, I'm stuck.
Annika?
Now.
Go ahead, Annika.
Tsukitai.
So this is actually tsukau. So if you're going to put this into the Thai form, this has to be made into the mass form first.
Tsukitai.
So how do you turn?
Oh, yeah,
Not
oh, sorry.
tsukitai.
Yeah.
What would be skau?
Will it be tsukimasu?
Not tsukimasu, because with the stem of the verb is tsuka, which is
Tsukamasu.
ironic.
Tsukamasu. No.
It's this U needs to be turned into something else.
Tsukaimasu.
Skaimasu. Good. Skaimasu.
Okay.
And then Annika, what was your idea?
Then tsukaitai.
Skaitai. And then we have to finish it with. Remember, skaitai is an adjective, so we have to finish the sentence with a. Yes, exactly. I am. Yes.
But this would be I would like to use, no?
It means I like. I want to. I want to use one, which is a good way of translating I like to. But I think you're prompting me, Joseph, to make it the real translation of this. I think that's what
like a preference.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So that's the rest of the sentence can be the same. Tom, do you remember how to do this?
I'm thinking about the stem. Then
Actually,
the particle.
This is going to be the plain form just to get going.
Then I don't know.
You asked me about this on Tuesday, and you actually asked me at the beginning of the lesson to explain something. Remember?
The koto.
Monday. Yeah.
Tsukao koto. The koto makes the verb into a noun.
Good.
And then I think, but then I have used sukides? No, can be.
Yeah, go on. But what's the verb? What's the particle first?
Koto ga sukides. Koto ga sukides. Yes.
Now, guys, let me give you a little caveat here. There are two ways of making well, there's actually a few ways, but the ways that we're looking at here, there are two principal ways of turning a verb into a noun. One is to use koto. So this is the same as, yeah, exactly, yeah. So this is the same as, for example, kuruma o kau koto ga dekimasu. So what does this mean, guys? You can unmute yourselves now. We're into free time.
To be able to buy a car.
Yeah, exactly. I am able to buy a car. So this is turning this here into basically a verb. A noun rather. A noun. And then we've also used it with something like Italia ni itta koto ga arimasu. I have the going to Italy. I have been to Italy before. Okay, so again, koto is taking this subclause and turning it basically what was a verb sentence, itta, I went, into a noun as an experience.
So like to saying we're going to Italy.
Yes, yeah. In the past tense, those the been to Italy, been to Italy. Yeah, I have the been to Italy or the go. Yeah, exactly. Now the other way is the way Tom said, which is to use no. So you put verb in the plain form, and then you put no, and then you have these other bits that go afterwards. Now the caveat was also put in there that I don't remember the rules for when to use koto and when to use no. So this sentence might be jisho o tsukau no ga suki desu, or it might be tsukau koto ga suki desu. I don't remember which one's which. So I'll have to come back to that. That's a future lesson that we can do later.
Is there a strong rule? Isn't it interchangeable?
I think there is a kind of guide for doing it. And it's almost like if you're going to say this at the end, use koto. If you're going to say this at the end, use no. There's not much logic explained in the differences between the two, because both of those functions turn the verb into a noun in any case.
Yeah.
But it depends on how you're going to use that noun afterwards. Yeah. Okay, how are we doing? 7:50. We should slowly start to wrap up so you guys can enjoy your New Year's Eve party with hopefully all your friends and family coming round and, you know, hugging and coughing over each other. Any questions about today, guys?
I'm a bit confused still because I don't remember where I read it or where I missed it. About all this koto ga dekimasu, koto ga arimasu. I know you just explained it, but where do we find it exactly? It's not like, for example, causative passive. It's not like a clear subject.
Sure. So the best thing I can do is actually point you towards the slide that it's on. And if you could, have you got a link to the slide, the lesson slides, I think?
Yes. I have it open.
You go to the one with
It's the long version of the potential form. Was the first time we used it.
Oh, sorry. So slide 41 is koto ga, past tense koto ga arimasu. That's slide number 41.
It's one of the few that I actually kind of passed because I just see the picture.
You stupid woman.
Okay.
Yeah, and then as Tom said, the other one is about potential, which was back
In the beginning, the potential
back
form,
when, wasn't it?
then the long way. It was after the volitional. It's for the Asahi group. It's very soon.
Yeah, right. Negative consistence, present continuous. Line. Oh, here we go. It's slide 19.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I will
This one here.
refresh that.
Yeah. Just be aware that only students of Japanese learn this something koto ga dekimasu. Nobody uses it. What you need to work on after that is this one, the short way. This is slightly harder, but it's more important because most people use this.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, guys? Cool. So let's remember how to say Happy New Year in Japanese. After 3, konhoi fachoi. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Konhoi fachoi.
Okay, fachoi.
Kanpai.
Kanpai. Ganpei,
Okay.
isn't it something, Andre? How do you say kanpai in Chinese?
Kanpei. That's
Kanpei.
Mandarin.
Oh, Mandarin. Ganpei. Konhoi fachoi.
Oyasumi nasai.
Oh, good night. You guys know what Happy New Year is, don't you? Did you see the slide on it?
There's a slide.
No.
Yeah,
did not.
I did do a slide. I think it might have been a special Christmas slide somewhere.
Try.
So
No.
Huh?
There's
The
nothing.
secret slide.
Secret slide.
somewhere, isn't it? Yeah,
Secret
it wasn't a
slide.
secret. It's not part of the main slides. So for tomorrow only, for the 1st of January only, you can say Oshogatsu omedetou gozaimasu. Oshogatsu omedetou. So Shogatsu is like a one-day holiday on the 1st. It's New Year's Day. It's the one-day holiday. Oshogatsu omedetou gozaimasu. If you want to say just simply Happy New Year, Shinnen omedetou gozaimasu is fine. Shinnen, which means New Year. Shinnen omedetou gozaimasu.
Akemashite? Donde se usa akemashite?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So akimashite, you can say actually for a longer period than just the first few days, which means an opening, a new year, opening a new year. Akimashite omedetou gozaimasu. And then the longest thing you can say is Shinnen akimashite omedetou gozaimasu to join all these together. Shinnen Akimashite. Omedetou gozaimasu.
Like in Shinnen Keiko.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly this. Yeah. And then if you are going to send any messages to your respective teachers, you should finish this off with these words. Kotoshi mo yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Kotoshi mo yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Which means please favor me this year as well. Kotoshi mo yoroshiku onegai shimasu.
Is that what Rob wrote in the Facebook group? I think he had something like that.
Yes, I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it in the Facebook.
Yeah.
And if you want
Right,
to
guys.
shorten it, you can say akeome.
Oh, Akeome, I saw this. Yeah.
And what's the kotoshi? Kotoyoru.
Kotoyoru. Sounds like
Akeome
kotoyoru.
kotoyoru.
Kids of today, they're not speaking proper Japanese like when I was at school.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Like Andre.
Yeah. These whippersnappers. Okay, guys, thank you very much for coming tonight. I guess you probably didn't have a choice because there's nothing else to do, but thanks anyway.
Thanks a lot.
来年もよろしくお願いします. See you in 2021.
Yay!
Thank you. See you next time.
ましておめでとうござい
Andre
ま
is
す.
already in the future.
Oh yeah, Andre, お正月おめでとうございます. 今年もよろしくお願いします
今年もよろしくお願いします。
Okay, take care, everybody. See everybody on Tuesday, I hope, when we still won't have anything to do or anywhere to go or any friends to talk to.
Sunday?
Cheers.
Or
Monday?
Sunday? Sunday. Ghost
Oh,
session?
Sunday, yeah. I thought today was Sunday. It's so weird having like New Year's Eve on
Thursday.
Sorry, I thought today was the ghost session. Yeah. See you Sunday. See you Sunday, I hope.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.
Thank
Ciao.
you. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Year.
Year.